The weapons you grab when you want something a little special but not heavy. Special weapons. Hello and welcome to Necromundown, continuing in our Necromunda Trading Post tier list series with the special weapons. Now, special weapons are the first ones we've done that can't really be wielded by everybody,
right?
Because basics can be wielded by most people, and sidearms can be wielded by basically everybody. But special weapons are usually relegated to your leaders, your champions, and your specialists. Funny that, with some slight exceptions, Palanites, usually, etc. Special weapons tend to be a little more powerful overall than your basics and your sidearms, but not always. There's fewer weapons here, but more weapon types here.
Yes.
So we're going to gloss over a few of these and not go exactly into what is or is not good about them.
Good of them.
And let's start with how about the Flamer?
The classic Flamer?
The classic Flamer.
All right. Classic Flamer is, of course, a template weapon. The template weapon.
The template weapon.
Strength 4, AP 1 damage, a 5-up ammo with Blaze and template, of course. It is rare 7 and 140 credits.
So, Flamers. Blaze is good.
Blaze is amazing.
Blaze is very good. The Flamer suffers because a combat shotgun with Firestorm ammo functions mostly the same, with only the downside of having limited, and in fact having higher strength.
Right.
And being a basic weapon, whereas the Flamer is a special weapon and can only be carried by specialists. The Flamer does have a really nice thing, though, in that your specialists who do not have a good ballistic skill can carry this and be pretty well off. Like a guy with a 6-up ballistic skill shoots this Flamer just as well as a guy with a 4-up ballistic skill. Meaning you actually don't want to waste it on anybody with a good ballistic skill.
Right.
So it's kind of hard to rank. Blaze is very, very good. 5-up ammo check is not bad.
It's not terrible.
And the template's a nice long thing. Strength 4 is okay. AP 1 is better than the Flamer is in 40k, where it has no AP.
Yeah.
I think the Flamer is actually C tier.
Okay, I could see that.
Maybe a low B.
I was going to say B.
140 credits lets it down, in my opinion.
Credits.
Because there's some other things on here that are probably better for not that expensive. But I guess they'll just go into A and S tier.
Yeah, they really wrap the fact that you don't have to roll the hit.
Remember that a Flamer template hit, even if it doesn't wound or set someone on fire, still pins. So it's good for that. Yeah, you know what? Actually, you've convinced me. It's going to be low B tier, I think, but I think the Flamer goes into B tier. It's a little pricey, but it's very good.
It's very strong.
It's also hard to counter. Yes, you can counter it with hazard suits, but hazard suits stop you from wearing other armor, and that 6-up armor save ain't going to save you against anything else.
That's true.
So Flamer is going in B tier.
All right.
Bing! So we're not starting off with a C this time.
Yay!
I was going to kind of say it's kind of the baseline for special weapons, but I guess it's really not.
No, I don't think it is.
How about the Long Las?
Long Las is... I actually really don't like the Long Las.
Give us the stats first.
All right. It is short range 18, long range 36 with a +1 at long range. Strength 4, AP nothing, 1 damage, 2+ ammo, and plentiful just in case you fail.
Right.
It is common and 20 credits, so it's super cheap.
Yes.
It is your de facto sniper rifle, despite the next one being there.
Yes. I also do not like the Long Las.
Yeah.
It is accurate at long range. The problem is how many credits?
20.
20. The problem is for 30 credits, you get something way better.
Yes.
But the Long Las is not bad. I'm going to put the Long Las in C tier.
I think C is where it should go. It's not great, but it's a good, cheap option if you want something super long range.
Nobody's Las is that long. Not even Long Las Johnson. And he had a Long Las. That's the name.
Well, we should do the focusing crystal for the Long Las.
It has unstable. It goes in D tier.
Yeah, for 30 extra credits and a rare 10, it gains unstable and 1 worse ammo check.
Yeah, so it goes to ammo 3-up instead of 4-up like the normal las gun.
Yes. It gains unstable, loses plentiful, gets -2 to your AP.
Yes.
And over doubles the cost of it.
It's D tier because if you have a way to get rid of unstable, then it's pretty good.
Yeah.
It is a good way to get nice AP on a sniper weapon. And there aren't a lot of those that aren't stupid expensive in Necromunda. Like, long-range weapons with good stats are rare and expensive.
Yeah.
And honestly, if they're dominating your tables, you need more terrain.
Yes, definitely.
They have a place, especially in Ash Wastes. But I'm putting Long Las with the Focusing Crystal in D tier because Unstable is very bad.
Yes.
And this is also really expensive.
Yeah, if it was 20 credits, if it was like 40 total, I would be more okay with like, okay, plus 2 AP, sure.
Yeah. But I'm not paying 50 total credits for the privilege of blowing myself up.
What would you pay 30 credits for?
The Long Rifle. So the Long Rifle is 30 credits. It's rare 7, so basically don't blunder your roll. The Long Rifle is a basic weapon for Ash Waste Nomads. Woohoo. It has 24-inch range, short range, 48-inch long range, so slightly longer range than the Long Las, plus 1 to hit at long range, so outside of the 24-inch range band. It also has strength 4, but it has 1 natural AP and 1 damage. It does have a 4-up ammo check and no plentiful.
Yeah.
But honestly, you don't fail at that option.
Yeah, that's not terrible.
And it has knockback, which as we've discussed is pretty good. So I think the Long Rifle goes into B tier.
I agree.
I will say, slight adjustment. Both of the Long Rifle and the Long Las go up a tier in the Ash Wastes.
Yes, because you always use the long range band in Ash Wastes.
Yes, in Ash Wastes, you never get to use the short range band unless you're aiming.
Yeah, and normally that's bad.
Right.
But for the long las and long rifle, it's really good.
They basically always have a +1 to hit.
Yeah.
And for the Nomads particularly, the Long Rifle goes up to S tier, honestly.
Yeah.
Because it's your bread and butter gun.
Yeah, you can put it on anyone.
The Long Rifle does come with 2 bonus options, these warp rounds and these static rounds. So just in case you didn't see the last episode where we talked about these at length, we'll go over them here. Static rounds has the same stats, so strength 4, AP 1, 1 damage, but it adds limited, shock, and shield breaker. And it costs 15 credits. Now it's not one shot, so
Right.
and limited is not as bad.
Yeah, you just have to like not run out of ammo.
Shield breaker, what it does is it ignores the shield bonus from energy shields and the Palnite Enforcer shields. So they get a +1 to armor save in their front arc against shooting. This ignores that. And against field armor, it makes them roll 2 and pick the worst.
And guess what? This has an AP.
So
It might matter.
unlike a auto gun where you're really not going to be threatening people who would normally carry field armor anyway, strength 4 AP 1 can actually kind of threaten those people.
Yeah.
Also, knockback can knock them into a wall, which threatens them, or off of something. So I think the stock on static rounds goes up a little bit on the Long Rifle.
I agree. I think it's basically right behind it.
I was going to say C tier because it's still a little niche.
It is a little niche.
It's just because if people aren't rocking those things in your campaign, it's useless. Shock is fine, but it's on a non-rapid fire 1 hit weapon with strength 4.
I rate the shock a little bit higher, especially in the late game.
This is true.
When people have like 5 toughness,
This is true.
then you can just get around it by rolling a 6. So I would rate it slightly higher, maybe C above the long last.
C above the long
again,
last.
right
Yeah,
below that.
I agree with that. C above the long last. Warp rounds, on the other hand, if you don't know what warp rounds do, they have the same stats. They're cursed, knockback, limited, and single shot, and it costs another 20 credits. What cursed does is if it hits you, you have to make a willpower check or go insane. Not wound, not armor save, not damage, just hit you.
Yes.
Now, you are paying $20 a shot.
Yes.
But unlike previous entries, the Long Rifle, in its element, has a much better chance of hitting.
True.
So I think the warp rounds are expensive. I think they are C tier behind the Long Las.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that. I thought you were going to put it above static rounds.
No. Insanity is really, really good, but this is still costing you $20 a pop.
Yeah.
But the Long Rifle has the range to reach out and touch someone who doesn't want to get hit by this.
Yes.
In its element, it has a very nice bonus to hit, especially if you're aiming and standing still. And then if you've done that, you can really not drive someone insane, literally. So I'm putting it's still behind the Long Las because it is a $20 a shot. Again, alleviated greatly by the ammo merchant. The bullet merchant, sorry. As someone pointed out, that all of these ammo types basically go up a tier for Orlock.
Yeah.
Because they have a 25 credit ammo merchant.
Yeah, I had to go and look, and I was like, wow, like this, we were talking about it a lot last time, and we're going to talk about it a lot this time. How expensive is that guy? He's 75 credits, except for Orlok.
Orlok really loves that guy. That's what I used when I had that almost all combat shotgun run. That's why I had so many Firestorm ammos that never ran out of ammo.
Right.
Because he removes limited.
Yeah.
And also makes it cheaper.
It's really good.
So, yeah. All right.
Oh, it also makes them common. So
Yes.
you don't have to roll on the freaking trading post for them.
Which for this one, you would have to roll illegal 11.
Yeah. Which is hard for a law-abiding gang.
Yes. All right. So let's talk about what's next. How about the web gun?
Ooh, yeah. We talked about a template weapon with the flamer. So let's talk about the web gun.
So the web gun is a template weapon. It's 125 rare 9. It's just a template weapon. It's strength 5, silent, template, web, and a 5 up ammo check. If you don't remember how web weapons work, when they hit you, they still pin you. And when they wound you, you don't get to make an armor save. You just basically get the webbed condition. It has to wound you, but you get the webbed condition. The webbed condition is basically like being downed in that two things can happen. You have to roll every turn a recovery dice. If you fail the recovery dice, you don't get flesh wounds.
Right.
But if you roll a die, you go out of action. And the other big problem is that someone can still step on your head and make sure you're dead. So being webbed really, really sucks. Strength 5 means that these have a great chance to wound people. And this is why I almost didn't want to rate the flamer as B tier, because the web gun is cheaper and better.
I agree. I was going to say that basically 99% of the time I would rather have a web gun.
Yeah, now the web gun is much easier to deal with because web solvent is not that expensive.
Yeah. If someone's running around with a bunch of web, buy web solvent.
Web solvent. So
We'll get to that later.
I think the web gun is A tier.
Yeah,
It's really good.
So,
the web gun is really good for everybody.
it's very strong.
Obviously, web gun and the flamer both synergize with like the run and gun skill, which lets you make 2 move actions. It's one action, you move twice and then shoot. Sorry, it's a double action.
Yeah.
Normally, you have a -1 to do that, but template weapons don't care about that -1 to hit.
Yep.
So web guns and flamers are both fantastic for that.
And infiltrate.
Yes, infiltrate is putting a web gun infiltrator guy, hello Deloc, in your back line. People hate that.
Make your opponents hate you.
Yep, web guns can make your opponents hate you. We talked about this a lot with Deloc, where we talked about like there's this perception of Deloc being unfun to fight. There's a perception of web guns being unfun to fight.
Agreed.
I really think people need to invest in web solvent.
Yes.
If your opponent is running around with a web gun problem, web solvant can like what web solvent does is you get to roll 2 recovery dice and pick the one you want. If you're using web solvent on a friend, you get to roll 3 recovery dice and pick the one you want. And it's only 25 credits.
Yeah.
And you only have to get more when you use it. If
So-
you're having trouble with web, use web solvent.
Yep. The fact that you can use it on somebody else's.
Yes. So, but despite that, the web gun is A tier because it's so good.
Yeah.
All right, what do you want to talk about next?
We just do the Melta gun.
Ooh, the Melta, another classic. All right, what's the Melta gun stats? Honestly, so what I'm doing with stats is if they're on this page, you're reading them.
That's what I was gonna say. I have more stats, but it's fine.
All right, well, a lot of them are this, which we're not going to have to read out. All right.
Oh, you don't want to talk about 7 different grenades?
No. The Melta gun, everyone's favorite anti-armor thing. Asterisk in Necromunda anti-armor not included.
Yes.
So the Melta gun is 100.
To be fair, in 40k, not included either.
If you have rerolled it for this. The Melta gun is a rare 10. A rare 11, 135 credits, cheaper than a flamer. Like, the flamer is expensive, but it's really good.
Yeah.
The Melta gun is a very short range gun at 12-inch long range, 6-inch short range, +1 to hit in short range. Strength 8, AP 4, damage 3. It does have scarce, but it has a 4-up ammo check.
Yeah.
And
It's really easy to reload.
Yeah. And it has the Melta keyword. So in addition to being strength 8, AP 4, 3 damage, aka screw you and your armor save and your strength, toughness, and your health.
Yep.
The Melta keyword, if you are in half range of firing this weapon and it does damage, it deletes the enemy.
Yep.
They just go out of action. They do not get to roll checks or anything like that. They just go bye-bye. We talked about this with the Inferno pistol, right? Because if you're at point-blank range.
Yeah.
Now, against vehicles, that Melta keyword, all it does is add an additional damage die. It's really not very good.
It's not.
It's kind of a letdown. Like, I think it should do way more damage against vehicles.
Yeah. I mean, you are shooting, like, basically lava At a human, it would, but like, and this is Necromunda, so they could just be like out cold from it.
Right, yeah.
Not
I
a
mean, you
shot.
could get hit by like it's depending on the source material. Sometimes it's a lava stream. More recently, they've kind of changed it to like a microwave shotgun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like especially in Space Marine 2 and Melta weapons and like Dark Tide, it's like a microwave blast of super close range, just energy. Either way, it's supposed to screw over armor.
Yeah.
But you know, this is Necromunda. You can get hit by this, and yeah, somehow it just blows all your clothes off, and you run away in shame.
Oh no.
There's an image. So the Melta gun. It's rare 11. It's hard to get. It's 135 credits. If you hit someone with this and they're not wearing field armor, they die.
Yeah, basically.
Basically, because 3 damage means you're rolling 3 damage dice. Even if you roll 3 flesh wounds, most people die. But how is it?
At 135 credits, very expensive. And it's very short range.
It's less damage than the Flamer
It is.
and more range.
It
Range
is.
12 is actually a longer range band than the template weapons.
True.
The problem is you've got 1 shot. You have to get within 6 inches to get that +1. I like the Melta. It's very situational. I'm thinking between B and C.
Seeing how much a multi-melta is. 180.
We don't count the multi-melta.
Just seeing. Just looking.
The multi-melta is an S tier weapon if you can afford it, and a F tier weapon if you can't. So my Melta, in my mind, like I've used a Melta. I've seen them fail so much because you only have that 1 hit die, right?
Yep.
And you have to get close. And if you are that close and you miss, you won't get a follow-up shot.
Yeah, that's true.
But lordy, if you hit something, it just goes blap.
It's very, very hard to determine.
I want to put this B tier behind the long rifle.
Yep, exactly where I was going to put it.
Okay.
B tier behind the long rifle. It's very, very strong,
It's incredibly potent.
but it's very swingy.
Yes.
Because if you miss or you roll a 2 to wound, then it's just like, at least the Flamer has the blaze option.
And the Flamer also can't miss.
Yeah, Flamer can't miss.
The Flamer and the Weber can't miss. Like, they're short range, but they can't miss. That being said, again, we're fans of playing with more terrain. The Melta gun is more potent there.
Yeah, good for more turn.
I will say, unfortunately, the Melta gun, its stock drops to like a D in Ash Wastes.
Yeah, because it's
It's a 12-inch gun in the open fields.
it also is not very good against vehicles.
No.
And even worse against heavy and ridge haulers.
Yeah, it's worse against those because it only wounds on a 4 or in some cases a 5. It's good against medium vehicles.
It's good against, well, to an extent. It does 1 extra damage.
That's still 4 damage. And medium vehicles don't have the hull points. Melta guns are only bad against ridge haulers.
That's fair. I still think, I mean, against a light vehicle, you're just going to annihilate it with,
Right, but against me, even against heavies, unless you're hitting it in an up-armored vehicle in the front arc, where it's an 8,
I don't think it's that good.
it's not bad, though. It's better against any of these other options we talked about.
That's true. Yeah, that's fair.
Yes. Yeah, the Melta gun only is let down against the ridge hauler, and only because of the wounding on 5s.
Oh, we're going to get to one that's good against vehicles.
Yeah, several again. Do you want to do that now with the
Sure.
grav gun?
The Grav gun.
Spoiler.
So this one is short range 9, long range 18 with a +1 at short range. It has a star for strength, -1 AP for no reason. 2 damage, a 5-up ammo with blast 3, concussion, and graviton pulse.
Yes.
It is rare 11 and 120 credits.
Now, so what does Graviton Pulse do again?
Graviton pulse leaves an AoE behind. So basically, the reason it has a star for strength is you have to make a strength test on a fighter that you hit. If they fail, they don't get an armor check. They just take damage. There's also an AoE left behind that reduces their speed in half, like it was rough terrain.
Yeah. So what it does against vehicles is they have to make they have to roll equal or over to the toughness, their own toughness value.
Yes.
And if it's over 6, they have to roll a perfect 6, basically.
With automatic hit to the body, so you don't roll wear.
Right.
With no save allowed.
Yes.
And you still leave the blast template behind, so they can.
So it
still
slows
be
them
slow.
down. The grav gun is good against people. It's worse against strong people.
Yes.
But even against strong people, it still leaves the graviton pulse. So if you're shooting a strength 4 fighter, it's going to slow them down, which they really hate if they're trying to charge you.
Right.
The graviton pulse stays there. It ignores armor, including field armor.
Yeah.
The only downside is it is short range and it's 125 credits.
120.
120 credits. So slightly cheaper than a web gun.
And if you miss, it could scatter because it's just base AoE 3.
Yes, it is a base area, so if you do miss, it can scatter, and you're not going to get that +1 very often.
Yeah. Or you could shoot it at the ground for with a -2.
Yeah.
I know. But
Yeah.
you can put it in like a choke point in a high density area.
So the grav gun is very good within its niche.
I've used it a lot in Vansar,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean I understand Vansar has
Good shooting.
in general advantage in shooting. I had a lot of good grav gun shots.
So I don't think of grav gun is as good as a web gun.
No,
It's not quite because you still have to roll to hit.
right. I think it is high B.
I think it's above the flamer personally.
Yeah.
Oh, or maybe right behind the flamer. The flamer does auto hit, and Blaze is really fun.
The flamer does auto hit, but
So I'm gonna put it above the flamer.
I would here's the reason I would rather have a grav gun, because there are better options for the flamer.
This is true. If you're gonna get a flamer, just buy a web gun.
Yep.
I'm gonna put the grav
Or
gun.
a flame pistol.
Yes, I'm gonna put the grav gun in high B.
Mm-hmm.
It's only reason it's not A is because it's a little short range and because it's expensive.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that goes up to against S tier against ridge haulers.
Yeah. In the ash wastes, despite being low range, it is very, very good.
We almost could do another tier list specifically for ash wastes,
Right.
and maybe someday down the road we will. But for now, I'm just kind of averaging it to B tier.
Yeah, that's fair.
You don't see a lot of these, but I think grav guns are underrated.
I agree. Like I said, I've used them a lot, and I think they're really strong.
They are short range, but they have the wonderful combination of pretty good chance at damage and pretty good board control.
And late game, completely ignoring armor.
The fact that if you don't do damage, you still get the board control, which is what I like.
Yeah.
Because, if somebody has to pass a 3-up, a strength check of, a 3, then they have to roll a,
Yeah.
a 3 or lower? Or
Yeah, 1, 2, or 3.
You're right. So that's not great odds. It's basically a 50-50 chance to actually wound somebody, which is not wonderful, but you still get the crowd control against somebody from moving.
Yep.
And whether they're shooting or charging, that's not good for them.
Right. Agreed.
All right. How about the good old grenade launcher?
Oh boy, the grenade launcher.
The grenade launcher.
So it is. All right, I'm gonna get. I'm clearing my throat because I have a lot of talking to do. It is regardless of which ammo you have. It is short range 6, long range 24. The frag and crack grenades both have a -1 at short range, so don't get in short range because it's harder to thunk.
Yep.
The frag grenade is strength 3, AP, nothing, 1 damage, a 6-up ammo, blast 3 knockback, and it comes default with the weapon. A crack grenade is also default with the weapon, strength 6, AP -2, 2 damage, 6-up ammo, and no extra abilities. This is rare 8 and 65 credits.
Right. So 65 credits, you get frag and crack grenades.
Frag and crack grenades.
Right.
I think 65 credits is too cheap.
I'm going to put the grenade launcher in S tier.
Yeah, agreed. That's completely ignoring every other option on the grenade launcher list.
Because the grenade launcher is one of the most versatile weapons in the game. You can almost... I don't think it's overpowered, and I don't think 65 credits is too cheap for what it is.
Okay.
Because it doesn't have a bonus to hit, and crack grenades are good. Strength 6.
AP 2 damage.
AP 2 damage. They're not bad, but they do have a 6-up ammo check.
They do have a 6-up ammo check.
And
that is true.
will let you down. I mean, I could almost put grenade launcher in high A, but I think it's so ubiquitous and so useful that it goes in S tier. It's our first S tier.
I think this is the default specialist weapon.
Yeah, because it's like crack grenades give you punch enough against most things, and frag grenades give you punch against weak things and against hordes.
Yep.
Like it's the ultimate single target or horde weapon. For 65 credits, I think it's appropriately costed because it doesn't have any kind of bonus to hit, and it has a really bad ammo check on both of its grenades.
That's true. And if you want it to shine, you do have to pay more credits.
Right.
For the versatility.
Although I will say that most of the other grenades are bad or useless.
Bad or situational.
We'll talk about them. There's one I think is really good, maybe 2.
Yeah.
So what's the first one on our list?
Choke gas grenades. It has the same stats for range, but it's a gas weapon, so there's no AP, no damage, no nothing.
It's basically a 3-inch gas template. It does have 5-inch or 5-up ammo check instead of 6-up.
Yeah, slightly easier to reload, apparently.
Slightly easier to reload. Well, slightly less rare. I don't know why. That's choke gas, right?
Yes, that's choke gas.
Um,
It's rare 9 and 35 credits.
Here's the thing. I don't think that goes in S tier, though.
Oh, God, no.
I think that goes in C tier.
The real problem with gas is, yes, it basically ignores everything, but it also doesn't pin.
It also doesn't pin. So I think that goes in C behind warp rifle.
Yeah. Next up is flares. which I had to look up the flare rule.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
Yeah, it sets revealed in a small area.
Yeah. It's a blast 3 with flare. It's common and plus 30 credits.
Yes.
Basically, if you have a lot of, well, no. I was going to say if you have a lot of pitch black, but then you have to see the thing that you're shooting with the flare in order to light it up.
Yep.
I think that one's...
It could also have used in Ash Wastes.
Yeah.
Because Illuminate does work there. Yeah, basically, I think Flare goes in D tier.
I'm surprised you put it that high, but okay.
I don't think it's useless. I think we just don't play a lot of pitchback.
That's true.
You do have to be able to see it, but, put these on a Ridge Hauler and the Ash Wastes and
Or
light people up.
You could put them on someone with info sight.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Basically, designate a target.
Yeah. Next up is Plasma Grenades. It is Strength 5, AP 1, 2 damage, also a 6-up ammo with Blast and Automatic Unstable.
Yeah, this goes in F tier.
Yep. For rare 12 and plus 100 credits.
Which is why it goes in F tier.
Just buy a plasma gun.
Well, we'll get to that. But so it's a crack grenade with slightly less strength and unstable.
It's like you took the 2 parts of the plasma gun, fused them together,
And got the worst of
and
all of
got
it.
the worst of all of it.
Right. Well, the normal plasma gun doesn't have blast.
Right, but it does have rapid fire.
Plasma guns are bad. Oh, sorry, rephrasing that. Cut that.
Yeah, no, put that in, Cody. Put that in. Put that.
Plasma grenades are bad.
Plasma guns are bad.
Plasma grenades are bad.
Yeah, they're awful.
I mean, they're bad to throw and they're bad to shoot. Don't ever buy plasma grenades, kids.
Next up is photon flash grenades. One of Josh's favorites.
These go in S tier.
No, they go in S tier, specifically in Ash Wastes.
No, I think photon flash grenades go. So let's read out what they do.
Okay. They're Blast 5 with Flash, Rare 9 and only 15 credits. And what Flash does is basically they have to take an initiative test.
If you fail, you lose your ready marker.
If you had it, or you don't get one next turn if you already used one.
These are great in Ash Waste because it's the anti-party bus.
Yeah.
If someone's ever doing the party bus, which is where they take a Ridge Hauler or a heavy weapon or
Yeah,
a heavy
vehicle.
vehicle, and they put a bunch of guys on it, and then they just go like, "Oh, you can't shoot me because it's a Ridge Hauler." You take this with its 5-inch pie plate, which is just big enough that if you shoot center mass on a Ridge Hauler, it will hit everyone on board.
That's true.
And then you make everyone lose their turn.
Especially if it's dwarves.
And one of 2 things happens. You do the Kevin thing, which is where you never party bus again.
The party is over.
Or you do the thing everyone else did, which is complain a lot about photon flash grenades and
then-
not stop party busing.
and then keep doing it,
Yeah, I refuse to nerf photon flash grenades as an arbitrator because stop party busing if that's what...
So
For the fact that, close enough, Flash is really good.
Flash is really strong.
They are only 15 credits,
I think
and it's 5 inches.
it's 5-inch template.
Yeah.
I think they're high A, not S.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
Because you're giving up a regular shot to maybe crowd control.
I think the fact that you have 5 inches answers that question, though.
What about against Escher?
Okay, against Escher, these are D tier. Like, it is... All right, we'll go high A.
High A.
Okay, it is extra 15 credits.
Next up is Scare Gas Grenades, which are also a gas weapon. They're rare 10 with plus 45 credits, and they're fear and limited. I'm gonna be real, I don't remember what fear does. I think it makes you take a leadership, no, willpower test, or
If
flee.
this attack would result in an injury roll being made for any reason, no injury roll is made, and instead the opposing player makes a nerve test for the target, subtracting 2 from the result. If the test fails, the target is immediately broken and runs for cover. So, that's breaking someone and making them run for cover, and they do have to make a rally. So it's a crowd control
and it's a
weapon.
-2,
And it's a -2, and it's 45 credits.
and it's 45 credits, and limited, with a 6-up ammo check.
I think this is better than Flares.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's better than Flares, better than a long-last focusing crystal, because breaking someone does really suck.
that's true.
And a -2 hurts.
if it didn't have the -2, I would say it's F tier.
But it does.
But it does.
So I think this is high D or low. Oh, actually, I think this is better than choke gas grenades, personally.
Really?
Yeah, then again, I would never buy this. But I would never buy choke gas either.
So the difference between that
But
and
it's
this
45 credits.
is this can't ever deal damage.
No, it can't. You're right. It's not 45 credits. Yeah.
It's 10 credits more and can't deal damage.
Yeah, no, it's going high D.
Next up is smoke grenades, the classic smoke. It is a 4-up ammo, a blast smoke, and it is 15 credits in common.
So smoke puts down a 5-inch, right?
5-inch template.
5-inch template of can't see through this.
Yes.
Now, the downside is that a lot of people are already packing things that let them see through this. Infrasights, photo goggles. But, especially in early game, how much did these cost again?
15 credits.
I say the smoke grenades are high B.
Yeah, I agree. I think they are very good. They're like 15 credits is, I had some credit. 15 credits on common. I had some credits left over. Yeah. Drop it and then put the grab gun over. There we go.
There you go.
I've seen that happen before.
Yeah. So yeah, I think the smoke grenades, you should probably be using smoke grenades more than you are, especially if you're having difficulty.
Yep.
Because yes, your opponent might have, infrasights, but they probably don't have it on everybody.
Yeah.
And being able to not be shot and cover your advance can really be helpful.
I agree. I like that one. And lastly, for the grenade launcher ammos is the stun rounds, which is... I also didn't mention that the photon flash grenades does not have a minus at short range. I don't know why, but they don't.
Because it doesn't matter if I hit you at short range. I'm going like this.
So the stun rounds
Pocket sand.
also don't have minus at short range. Our strength 2 AP 1 damage, 4-up ammo, concussion, rapid fire 1, rare 8, and plus 25 credits.
Concussion's okay, but only when it's paired with other things.
Yeah.
So, like, for example, hitting someone with concussion and then hitting with a photon flash grenade is mean.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
It's evil. It's incredibly evil. But by themselves, I think these are D ahead of scare gas because they can, in theory, do damage.
And they're also, it's only strength 2.
Right. Well, that's what rapid fire is for. You have a slightly different chance. The problem is they're 25 credits.
Yeah.
So I think these go high D.
Yeah.
These have higher synergy in Enforcers where they have things that synergize with concussion specifically.
Right.
But normally, D. High D.
Yep.
All right. And we're done with the grenade launchers.
All right.
Yay!
It's on your side this time.
What is it?
I don't know. You pick.
Let's do the Storm Bolter.
Ooh.
So the Storm Bolter is a 12-inch, 24-inch gun, +1 at short range. Strength 4, AP 1, 2 damage, rapid fire 2, scarce, and a 6-up ammo check. So it's basically a bolter with rapid fire 2 instead of rapid fire 1, and it has scarce.
And
it is R9
almost double the credits.
and 125 credits, which is why it's not.
No, that's the web gun.
Oh, sorry, R12 and 95 credits.
Wait, it's higher rarity but lower. Okay.
Yeah, who knows? The problem with the Storm Bolter is that with rapid fire 2 and scarce, you will run out of ammo, but it's like a heavy bolter.
Yeah.
Rapid fire 2 means that you will murder things that you hit.
Yes.
I like the Storm Bolter. It is a prestige show-off option over the normal bolter.
Yeah, I
It
agree.
also can't get those extra ammos, which we talked about some are good. I wouldn't say it's as good as a Cursed Bolter, though. I think the Storm Bolter is B tier, low B tier, behind a Melted Gun.
Yeah.
It's expensive, and you're going to run out of ammo, but if you have a way to alleviate that, and if you're a good shot, if you're not wasting... It's a lot like a Heavy Bolter, but the Heavy Bolter has better to hit.
Yeah.
Or longer range, rather.
Sure.
But, man, you will murder things at close range with this, because Rapid Fire 2 is just... Rapid Fire 2 damage is just terrifying.
Yeah. The potential to do 12 damage in Necromunda.
Yeah.
Woo.
All right, let's talk about the Needle Rifle. Poke, poke.
Yes.
So the Needle Rifle is 9-inch short range, 18-inch long range, plus 2 at short range.
Pretty good.
It's a toxin weapon, so it has no damage or stats, but it does have 2 AP. It is scarce with a 6-up ammo check, but it is also silent. It's rare 9, it's 40 credits. So this thing is very short range, but it's very accurate and really cheap.
It is very cheap.
This thing is, I say, only C tier unless you're playing Escher and then it's A.
Yeah.
It is very cheap. It is very accurate, and AP2 means you're going to get that toxin through a lot of the time. But it is still just a 50-50 chance.
And it's short range.
And it's very short range, yeah. For Escher, who can pump up what that toxin does, including giving himself a better chance to wound, this thing is way better.
Yes, agreed.
So, Needle Rifle, I'm going to put in C tier. I think it's behind a Long Las, honestly.
Yeah.
There's also a Chem Dart, which, I mean, it's basically the same thing, except it does absolutely no damage, and it has the Chem Delivery thing.
Yeah.
It only costs 10 credits. This thing is so incredibly niche.
Yeah.
that
Basically, you're injecting your enemy with a random drug.
or a drug
Not a
you
random
pick,
drug,
yeah.
a drug you pick.
I'm putting it right next to the Needle Rifle because
I'm surprised you did that.
it's so niche and so weird, but it's also so incredibly cheap.
True. It's only 10 credits.
Right. So, yeah, I'm putting it there.
Like if you have a plan, I guess.
Yeah. There's some chems you can hit people with, like hitting someone with Kalma and ruining their initiative and everything else like that can really, ruin someone's day. And you have a +2 to hit.
Yeah.
And then chem delivery doesn't need to wound or anything like that. It just hits and goes. That's why I'm putting it as high as I am. Because you don't have to wound, you don't have to armor save, anything like that.
That's fair.
You just have to
the
get
fact
through.
that it's basically as long as you hit, it happens.
Right.
Very good.
All right, we're running out of normal ones. So let's do the last of what I would consider the normal ones.
Yeah.
Which is the plasma gun.
Yeah.
The plasma gun is the best special weapon in the game.
Yep.
So for 100 credits,
Too cheap.
yeah, it's rare 9, strength, short range 12, long range 24, +2 to hit at short range.
Too good.
Strength 5, AP 1, 2 damage, 5 up, and scarce, but rapid fire 1. That's the profile you'll actually use. The other profile is maximal, which is loses 1 to hit, so it's +1 at short range. Goes up to strength 7, AP 2, 3 damage, and loses rapid fire, and it hits unstable. So here's the thing. You do get AP 2 and 3 damage, but rapid fire 1 still has higher damage potential, and unstable is really bad, especially on someone who is going to be wielding your plasma gun.
Yeah.
I like plasma gun overcharging in most games, not in Necromunda.
I'm not a coward.
In Necromunda, I just don't feel like it's worth the trade-off.
It depends on what you're going up against. Like, if I'm going up against something with 3 wounds,
Yeah.
I'll probably do it.
Unless it's toughness 5 or higher, I still wouldn't.
Because rapid fire.
Because of rapid fire.
But you have a chance to do it.
This is true. This is true, and not the great chance.
Yeah.
So the plasma gun is, bar none, for 100 credits, it is the best
Yeah.
special weapon in the game. I don't think it's overpowered, because 100 credits is a lot.
We differ in this opinion.
Yeah, we differ in this opinion. I think, yeah, so if I compare it to other things of equal
As
credits.
a Van Sar player, plasma guns are too good.
Plasma guns are very good. I think the problem, like, if you compare it to other weapons that we've covered, so grenade launchers are a lot cheaper.
Yes.
And not that much less effective for a crack grenade.
That's true. It's actually slightly
I think
better.
the plasma gun could
It's
lose
just-
the +2 to hit and just go down to a +1 to hit, and
Yeah.
I would consider that pretty equal. The web gun doesn't have to hit, but it's more expensive. The flamer doesn't have to hit, but it's more expensive and has,
and has blaze.
yeah. The thing is, the plasma gun is the longest range of the really high damaging special weapons.
True.
Because flamers, web guns, grab guns, melta guns.
So grenades have the same maximum range.
Right.
But in short range, +2 is ridiculous.
Right. Plasma guns are very, very good. We won't go into whether they're overpowered or not. I don't think you need to change them in your campaign, because despite them being good, it's not like we see them every single...
That's true.
It's not like they dominate campaigns.
Yeah. That's true. Usually a gang will take 1.
Yeah, a gang will take 1.
Call it good.
A Van Sar might take a bunch, but
Yeah.
that's Van Sar's thing. So that's why I don't feel the need to nerf it, because it's not like...
That's true.
I mean,
people aren't spamming it.
I don't put a plasma gun over a grenade launcher on some guy, because credits add up. That being said, it is really good.
It's really good.
Buy plasma guns. All right, do you want to talk about all the combi weapons and get them out of the way?
Sure.
There's a lot of them. All of them are combinations of things we've already talked about, so we won't be giving you the stats.
Right.
The thing about combi weapons is they all have bad ammo checks, and if you have to take an ammo check with a combi weapon, you roll 2 dice and pick the worst. But the upside is that if one half the combi jams, the other half gets to keep going.
Yeah, can still be shot.
There's 2 types of combi weapons. There's autogun combi weapons and bolter combi weapons. So let's start with the auto combi flamer. Combi auto flamer, whatever.
Auto gun flamer. Flamer has unstable. It bad.
Yeah.
110 credits. It bad.
So this could have been good, but it's a slightly cheaper flamer, which would be like, oh, okay, except they gave it unstable, which means it's bad.
Yeah.
I say F tier.
F tier.
Is it? You know what? It's better than plasma grenades, because you can at least not fire the flamer.
You just choose not to.
Yeah.
Like, buy a 110 credit auto gun. Next up is the grenade launcher. It only default comes with frag grenades. So you have to buy the crack grenade separate, and it's 30 credits.
Yeah. Can you buy the crack grenades?
Yes, you can.
How much are they?
25.
So that brings it up to 55 credits.
55, which is cheaper.
So then it's a grenade launcher with an auto gun strapped on, but a way worse ammo check.
So basically, it's a single gun it's a grenade launcher that has a backup weapon attached to it,
Right. But a worse ammo check.
but a worse ammo check.
And the grenade launcher...
Actually, well, yes, it has a worse ammo check.
yes, because of the
Because you roll twice.
Because the combi rule. It's not bad. I don't think I'd buy it over a grenade launcher, partially because you can't put photon flash grenades in it.
That's true.
I think this goes into C tier.
Yeah, it's not as bad as some of the other combis,
Yes.
but it's not as good as a regular grenade launcher. Dear God.
Right, which is, I mean, it is 10 credits less.
Yep.
But I think spending that 10 credits is worth it not to have to deal with the combi rule. And if you have grenade launcher ammo, most of the time you're not going to use the auto gun.
Right.
You could also just buy a grenade launcher and an auto gun for the same amount of money. No, sorry, 5 credits more.
5 credits more.
You could buy a grenade launcher and a reclaimed auto gun for the same amount of money.
It takes up 2 weapon slots.
That's the only reason you wouldn't.
And last for the auto gun is the stun rounds for the grenade launcher.
Oh, sorry, you put a separate entry for grenade launcher crack. I'm going to put it right behind.
Oh, yeah. Because you do have to buy them separate. So the frag grenades themselves, the crack grenades, in addition to that, is pretty good.
It's the only thing that you would. It's the only reason you would get it.
Yeah. Just buying a crack grenade for 30 credits.
The
a frag
stun
grenade,
is
rather.
worse than the normal grenade launcher with stun.
Yeah, because it has stun, but worse ammo check.
Put it in D tier behind the grenade launcher with stun. Moving on.
The bolter combi weapons, on the other hand, I think have a little bit of play.
I've used these and they're stupid, but they're fun. They're some of them are dumb.
Because bolters are very strong.
Yeah. So first off, the bolter flamer.
Bolter flamer. It has unstable. It's bad.
Yep, going into F tier.
It's 180 credits.
Going into F tier because you know what? It's better than the auto flamer because at least you got a bolter.
True. You just choose not to fire the flamer.
Yeah, but you're paying you're paying literally 3 times as much.
Yeah.
For the privilege of adding a flamer.
Up next is the grenade launcher. Again, it comes with just frag grenades to start with, and it's 60 credits.
Which is the same cost as a bolter.
That is true. Oh, no, bolter's 55, right?
Sorry, 5 more credits more than a bolter.
To have a frag grenade attached.
But bolters already have bad ammo, and you're just making your worse.
Ammo worse, yeah.
And a frag grenade, like literally, I would rather buy the frag shell
Wow, really?
because it doesn't. Yeah,
That's true.
I'm gonna put this in D tier
Okay.
ahead of the auto GL stun, but.
Yeah, fair.
The crack grenade version does at least give you a crack grenade, but again, that bad ammo check.
I think the fact that you basically have 3 different, you have strength 3 against the chaff, strength
Yeah.
4, damage 2 against something like moderately good, and then the crack grenade against really good stuff. I actually like that one a lot.
Do you want to put this in C tier then? The combi bolter grenade and the combi bolter crack in C tier? Maybe ahead of
I think it's okay to leave the regular grenade in D, just because like buying just the frag is a bad idea.
Right.
Buying the frag and the crack is better.
How much better? Better than a needle rifle? No, too expensive.
Is it better than the auto crack?
Yes.
Okay. And then stun rounds for
F
the same
tier,
thing.
F tier.
F tier. Next up is the bolter melta combo,
So this one I love.
which is 170 credits and rare 12.
It's 170 credits. But
But
the main problem with the melta gun is that you have an expensive gun. Because here's the thing, a melta gun is 135 credits.
135.
This, for only 35 credits more, adds a bolter.
Yes. So the downside of the melta is it's very, very short range.
Yes.
The bolter fixes that.
What's the ammo check on the bolter melta?
The bolter melta is still a 4-up.
Still a 4-up, right. So this alleviates the main problem with the bolter, or with the melta, which is you don't have anything else to shoot. Now, you could just get a different weapon.
True.
But for this, for 35 credits, which is a 20 credit discount over a normal bolter, you're getting a bolter that has a melta gun on it,
Yes.
giving you unparalleled versatility with a mid-range gun that does a lot of damage and a short-range gun that does a stupid amount of damage.
Yeah.
I don't think it's A tier.
I don't think it's A tier. I
think the cost, I would get this.
Would you get it over a regular melta gun?
No, but I would get it right behind a melta gun.
Over a storm bolter?
The melta gun is so expensive that it is a premier. 135 credits is a premier option.
Yes.
This is not something cheap. For only 35 credits more, you can get a bolter glued onto it and have a lot more versatility.
True.
But 35 credits is 35 credits. I have run with this. I like this a lot. It's really expensive, but your leader with this thing basically has all his range bands covered.
Right. Up next is the Needler, which is basically the needle rifle. It is combi, scarce, silent, and toxin for 90 credits.
Conversely, I would never use this.
Yeah.
It's not F, but it's D.
Yeah, I think it's low D. I don't think it's as bad as flares, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
And lastly, the plasma gun, which is basically just the rapid fire version with combi for 115 credits.
So the problem is that you'll never shoot the bolter half.
Until you run out of ammo with the plasma gun.
Yeah, but
I think for 15 credits more than a plasma gun, if you're never going to overcharge, I think this is better.
ooh, see, I don't know if I agree because it makes you far more likely to run out of ammo with the plasma gun.
But then you have a backup option for one weapon slot.
This is true. This is true. I think it's not S tier.
No, it's not.
I think it's not A tier.
I don't think it's better than a plasma gun. I think it is a good option.
Yeah, the problem is that the plasma and the bolter are kind of filling the same niche.
Yeah.
Because the plasma is actually not that much better than a bolter.
No.
It's literally one strength higher. That's
It's
only
one strength higher and
a 5-up ammo check.
A 5-up ammo check.
But was scarce. Which is strange that we put it in S tier, but like the fact that it is strength 5 is like I mean the bolter was A and the plasma is because this is the best of two worlds. I'm gonna put it in low A.
I agree with that. I can live with that.
It's not quite as good as a bolter,
right?
Because it's expensive. It's not quite as good as a plasma gun because it's expensive and losing, but it is pretty good.
It's only 115 credits. So it's
yeah, you are only paying 15 credits.
Yeah.
And it is fun. All right, now
think of it not as a bolter with an underslung plasma. It's a plasma with an underslung bolter.
Yeah, that's honestly how I should model it too.
Yeah, exactly.
A side slung, just stuck on the side. There's no scope. There's a bolter.
Yeah, that's good.
And now we get into the weird crap.
We do get into the weird stuff.
So, what's over on your side?
I have the balefire thrower. That's it.
All right, let's do the balefire thrower.
It is a template weapon with strength 4, AP 1, and 2 damage. Ammo 5-up, blaze, cursed, esoteric, and template. Esoteric being that you can't edit it in any way. And it is 120 credits and illegal 9.
So, quick question. Why is the thing that is flat better than a flamer cheaper than the flamer?
Because it's illegal 9.
That's not a balancing factor.
It's esoteric, you can't
put a scope on it, Mitchell? You can't put a scope on your flamer? What rare is the flamer again?
Rare 7.
Okay, so it is 2 steps rarer, or 3 steps if you're outlaw. But this is 20 credits cheaper, does additional damage, and curses them. This is dumb. We're going up to A tier. Like, I don't think it's quite S tier.
It's not S. It's not S.
But
it's still a template weapon, which is always going to have a downside in some way.
This is 5 credits less than a web gun.
Has a secondary chance to
ruin someone's day, and does 2 damage. And you can't put attachments on it. A web gun is rare 9, by the way. This should not be 120 credits.
Whoops. Yeah, that one's real good.
Oh, can't wait to play my Chaos Gang.
Right? Yeah, be flavorful. Only use warp rounds with Chaos.
I legitimately think that if you are playing with a Balefire Thrower or the Cursed Bolter, that you need to be Chaos or something else that is making your guys chaos.
Justify it.
Like, justify it, right? Because, like, it should be messing with his mind.
Yeah.
It should be some kind of downside. Like, you should be playing a Chaos Corrupted gang, I think. But that's just me. All right, so then we have the Hrud Fusel. The Hrud Fusel, I don't know how to pronounce Hrud. It's a made-up word. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The Hrud Fusel is a short-range baby plasma gun, kind of?
Yeah, kind of.
So it's got low and maximal. It's 120 credits, illegal 9. Your low is strength 9. Strength 9. Short range 9. Long range 18. No bonus to hit at short or long, though. But you do get strength 6, AP 1, 2 damage. Esoteric, rapid fire 1, and scarce with a 5-up ammo check. So it's basically a plasma gun that's shorter range, no bonus to hit, and has +1 strength. Now, that +1 strength does matter because strength 6 is an important breakpoint for wounding mooks with 3 toughness on 2s. The maximal, on the other hand, is 12-inch short, 24-inch long, and +1 to hit, with strength 8, AP 2, 3 damage, esoteric, scarce, and unstable. So it's a plasma gun, including it down to range, with +1 strength. And esoteric. And +1 strength going to 8 is an important breakpoint because it's wounding mooks with 4s on 2s.
Yeah.
I would be more willing to overcharge this.
Fair.
It is 120 credits, though, so I would never buy this over a plasma gun because I don't feel it's
I agree.
quite good enough, and I feel like losing that +2 to hit knocks it down real hard.
Yeah, I could see the not having any short range or long range accuracy on the low.
It does mean that short long range thing means nothing.
It's true.
So basically, it's an 18-inch gun.
Yeah.
But the +2 to hit is a big part of what makes the plasma gun good.
Yes.
Because it means your guy with 3 up ballistic skill is using it to ignore short range or a heavy cover.
Yeah, ignore heavy cover.
This doesn't have that. So I don't think it's A.
Yeah, I would.
Okay, would I rather have this than a flamer?
I wouldn't rather have it than a grav gun, but I like grav guns.
I wouldn't either. Not because grav gun is basically the same range band, but better. Well, kind of. I think it's right behind the grav gun,
Yeah,
right ahead of the flamer.
fair.
It still is a rapid fire strength 2 AP1 2 damage gun.
It's true.
That's pretty brutal without overcharging.
But 120 credits is a lot.
Yeah, 120 credits. You are paying for it. All right, the Cal Hellspear.
Kai.
Hellspear.
K-A-I.
Kai Hellspear. The Kai Hellspear is 6-inch short range, 18-inch long range, strength 3, AP 3, 1 damage gun with no bonuses to hit. It's got esoteric, impale, pulverize, and rending. Impale is the thing where you can like hit people in a row.
Yeah. If there's 2 people in your line, you can hit the second one.
Yeah, does less damage. So pulverize, if you roll a d6, if the result is equal to or higher than the target's toughness or a natural 6, they can change 1 injury dice from a flesh wound to a serious injury, or if targeting can do an additional damage dice. So
It does the same thing as a meltagun against a vehicle. Sorry, I had to throw that in there.
it is, yeah. So it's got esoteric, pulverize.
And I think rending increases your AP.
Rending increases your AP
This
on
thing
a
is
6.
already AP 3.
Yes. Next one over.
No, it's right there. 1 extra point of damage.
1 extra point of damage on a 6 to wound.
Not. Yeah. That's actually a little better than I thought.
However, the Kai Hellspear is illegal 12 and 90 credits.
Illegal 12.
Now, 6-inch, 18-inch range band doesn't mean a lot when you have no bonuses.
Right.
It is only strength 3,
Yep.
and it's AP 3, 1 damage. So it's like, you're really fishing for 6s
Yeah,
here?
you're banking on 6s.
I don't like this gun.
No. I don't either.
I think it's a D tier, high D or low C. It's awful expensive for strength 3. I think high D.
Okay.
The Necrotic Beamer. Oh, God, more fucking rain options. Can you read that one?
So this one is it has a ranged and a melee. So the ranged is 6-inch short, long of 12 with a -1 at long range.
Yeah.
Oof. Strength 6, AP 1, 3 damage.
Ow.
6 up ammo, esoteric, melta, scarce, scatter shot.
Yes.
It's a scatter shot melta
Uh-huh.
with 3 damage.
Uh-huh.
And then the melee is a 3-inch versatile weapon with +1 in base contact. Only strength 3, no AP, damage 3. Interestingly, this is a melee weapon with just flat damage.
Yeah.
Or flat strength.
Yeah.
Damage 3, esoteric, melee, still melta, and versatile for 110 credits and rare 12.
So melt on a melee means that you have to be in base contact.
Yes, because he has to be in short range,
Right.
which you want to be anyway because you have +1.
So this thing, now it is illegal 12 and 110 credits.
It's ridiculously hard to find, ridiculously expensive.
But it's cheaper than a normal Melta,
It is.
but it doesn't have the AP of normal Melta. It's
Yeah, it's
basically a
only AP1.
Melta gun that is worse outside of 6, loses strength and AP to gain scatter shot,
Scatter shot.
and a 6 up to ammo check.
Yeah.
And then it has a weird melee weapon that if you manage to get in base contact and get a wound through, you'll delete somebody.
Yeah.
But it has very bad strength and
no AP.
no AP. I think this is a very weird niche weapon. It's worse than a Melta gun, so it's not going in B tier.
Right.
Would I rather have this? I think this is low C. It's usable,
Yeah.
but the low strength and low damage and bad to hit outside of 6 inches makes this a very short range gun.
Yeah. -1 at short range. You need to put. Oh no, it's esoteric. You can't put anything on it.
Nope. That's why I put it in C.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, then we have the Neural Flare, another multi one. Neural Flare is a legal 13, the highest one here. Well, no, except for the last one we're going to talk about. A legal 13 and 90 credits. It's a template in both short and full. Short range has a 4-up ammo check. Full blast has a 6-up ammo check. They both have concussion. They both have flash. They both have esoteric and template. But the full blast gains fear, gas, and pulverize.
What the heck?
So this is basically a status gun.
Yeah.
So
It's the Marlboros from Final Fantasy. It's just
flash.
you
Now,
have all the stats.
at short range, or so with a short blast, you have a template gun that has concussion and flash, aka give me your ready marker.
Give me your ready marker, punk.
Yeah.
I'm not asking.
Right. At long range, it's give me your ready marker, punk. Also fear, also gas, also pulverize.
At least that one has the chance to actually no, because it has fear. It can't deal damage.
Right.
This weapon cannot deal damage.
Right. So what's the point of fear and gas?
So
No, because gas. Oh god, how do these interact? So fear says
you would make a
if this attack would result in an injury roll being made for any reason, no injury roll is made.
and gas is you roll against their toughness for injury rolls.
Right.
Or
Gas.
for wound rolls.
Gas is just when your fighter is hit by a weapon with a gas attack, they do not become. So okay, so the gas part basically means you don't have to do armor check,
Yeah.
and it will proc this. Yeah, so you
And pulverize.
but pulverize also
Pulverize is the one that you make a test
right,
and you see if you change a flesh wound to a serious injury.
but there's no flush wounds or serious injury because fear says you don't roll any injury. Hey GW, what do you want from me? I don't know how this gun works.
Does the full blast on this weapon just not work?
Someone tell us how this works. What are we missing here? Because I'm missing something here. I think that because this is a status gun that you don't get to... Like, why is pulverize there?
That's the weird
No,
one.
that's the thing, because gas specifically says you don't make any injury rolls. They just go down. If you...
A wound roll is not made. And pulverize, when making an injury roll, and fear,
says if you would ever make an injury roll, you don't.
no injury roll is made.
I don't know.
I think this weapon doesn't work.
I think you... Okay. How do we think it should work?
So I think I think it should work is gas and pulverize mean you make an injury test.
Right.
And they make a fear test.
Right.
And they're concussed.
Right.
And they're flashed.
Right.
So that's ridiculously strong. Because
Yes.
you have a chance to injure them, make them flee.
Which is why it's illegal 13 and 90 credits.
Yes. On the other hand, if it is rules as written, it basically doesn't have pulverize.
Right.
Because pulverize is when you would make an injury dice,
Right.
and fear says you don't make an injury dice.
Right.
Maybe you get to choose.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
Either
can we
way,
make a new tier with that says WTF?
honestly, yeah, I think this goes in W tier. I'm gonna put it in middle C tier behind the necrotic beamer
Okay.
because like that does function.
It does
And-
function, and it does really cool stuff.
And give me your ready marker, punk is a really like good thing to do.
-2 initiative and flash,
Right.
and -2 willpower and fear.
Right.
Oh,
Yes. So it's like whap.
this is a terrifying weapon.
This is a ruin your day gun, but you do have to get in template range, and it is very expensive. So I'm putting it in bottom C.
Oh, yeah. Put it on a vehicle.
I believe that what you've described is several Department of Defense contracts for riot control.
Oh, I was gonna say against the Geneva Convention.
That too. This is just the rave mobile.
All right, well, I know what I'm playing next.
Blaring Carmel Dotson. We're back to that.
Okay, we're getting loopy. We got one left.
Yes, the Uvath puzzle box.
The coolest weapon in this whole book.
So this is illegal 15, 150 credits. Short range 3-inch, long range 6-inch, +2 to hit at short range. Strength 2, AP 1 damage with a 3 up memo check. It has esoteric, rapid fire 3, scatter shot, and unwieldy. So unwieldy means it takes a double action to fire,
Yes.
which means you need to get within 3 inches, and it's not a sidearm.
Nope.
So you need to get within 3 inches of somebody, or I guess 6 technically if you don't want that +2 to hit.
Yeah.
And then you hit them with Rapid Fire 3 scatter shot. So remember, Rapid Fire 3 is you're doing between 3 and 9 hits with this. And each of those is doing D6 hits.
Yes.
So you are doing between 3d6 to 9d6.
Yes.
AKA 3 to
9 times 6
is 54.
Yes.
So between 3 and 54 hits.
At strength 2 AP1.
Now, unfortunately, esoteric means you cannot put suspensors on it.
Because it's a weapon upgrade.
But if you have a servo harness,
Which is not a weapon upgrade.
all of your weapons count as having suspensors. And I would rule, like, as an arbitrary, that the strength there is coming from the harness.
Yes.
And ergo, on the flip side, the reason this is unwieldy is not because it's big and heavy, it's because it's a Rubik's Cube that you're trying to solve while you're doing this. So maybe you could rule the servo harness doesn't do a dang thing.
Rules as written, it does.
Yes.
It makes your brain stronger to solve the cube.
Sure. Anyway, so yeah, this is a puzzle box, an alien puzzle box that presumably you run up to someone and go, hey, watch this, and like solve it or something. And then
It does anywhere between 0 and 54 damage.
right. Like, strength 2 is not good, but if you're rolling, like, let's go average on here.
Sure.
What is the average of 3d6 to 9d6?
So it's minimum 3, maximum 9. So in between would be 6.
So 66 shots. So 6 times average
3.5.
So 18.
Yeah.
So on average-ish, you're going to be doing 18 hits. I think with 18 hits,
You're going to wound sometimes.
you're going to wound sometime. And you know what? It's Rapid Fire 3, but you only have a 3-up ammo check. Like, you're not going to run out of ammo on your puzzle box.
Yeah.
The hard part about this is getting within the 6-inch range when you can't move and shoot.
That's true.
There are ways around that, such as Mastermind. Making sure your opponent doing last first. Servo harness.
You could have another arm in GSC
Yep, you could have another arm
to help you solve the puzzle faster.
Oh my god.
Here's what I think.
The other problem is it's 150 flipping credits.
Here's what I think. This should be still illegal 15, lose some credit cost, and gain unstable. Just because...
No, because if it was unstable, I would put it in F tier.
No, because it makes sense that the demon would come out and eat you.
This is going in S tier for the lulz. I don't think this thing is actually S tier, but you can't rank this one.
No, it's as weird as some of these other ones were, like the neural flare and the necrotic beamer.
Yeah.
This one is
like
unrankable.
It probably technically goes in C tier because it's really expensive and requires a ton of setup.
Yeah.
Like at the very least, it requires getting there or your opponent letting you get within.
Sean and I, a friend of the show, Sean, we're talking about putting this on a vehicle because it can.
That's the problem. There is no reason you can't put this on a ridge hauler later. So it's just a box on a stick that drives up to you.
You can move and then half move and still shoot it
Because vehicles.
because unwieldy doesn't matter to vehicles.
I mean, putting it on a light vehicle.
Yeah, put it on a light
With,
vehicle.
movement 7.
Yeah.
Driving up to someone within 3 inches and unleashing the puzzle box. No, screw this. Goes in S tier now. I'm
It's the best vehicle weapon in the game.
I'm gonna 100 hand slap your ridge hauler to death, son. Oh, I'm wounding on 6s. Don't care. And then, no, the best person to put this on is an Orlock with Bullet Lord, who can guarantee a rapid fire 3 roll.
That is pretty good.
And then he also has Shotgun Savvy.
Which is...
You get to reroll scatter shots.
Can he have both?
Yeah, because one...
You can have 2 legendary names, right?
No, Shotgun Savvy is not a legendary name. Shotgun Savvy is part of their skill tree. You could do this at creation.
Well,
Okay, you couldn't do that at creation.
You can set up at
You
creation.
can set up at creation. On a guy that you might pick up anyway, because a combat shotgun with rapid fire 3...
Yeah.
Or sorry, with guaranteed 3s and a rapid fire. Now, it does immediately run out of ammo after that, but 3-up ammo check.
Yeah.
So this is burly biker who drives up to you on his motorbike and says, here, look inside this box.
Yeah, somehow this isn't scarce either.
Well, no, the Hellraiser box doesn't.
Yeah, you can reload the Hellraiser
Yeah,
box.
I
It's
mean,
easy.
it's a major plot point. People
That's
keep
true.
reloading.
That's why there's 12 movies.
Stop reloading the Hellraiser box. Stop reloading the cube.
Okay.
And that's it for our tier list. I don't think the puzzle box actually goes in S, but we're putting it there for now.
We're putting it there for now.
Because for funsies, it's the most fun weapon on this list that isn't named a plasma gun. So that's our list. We got great feedback from our list on basics, which the sidearm list will actually come out before this, so we haven't seen those yet. But we got great feedback on the basics. Some of you have pointed out some wonderful things. So
Keep going.
yeah, keep pointing out these wonderful little synergies. Let us know below if you find any of those. Please do. Remember, we do have a community Discord for the GameTalk Network that has our channels on it. If you want to talk more Necromunda or Necromundown or see some cool things that people have made on there or other games, we do other things. Single tier goes down my street.
I've been playing more other games than Necromunda, which is sad.
Yeah, but hey, that's kind of the way life rolls. We'll be back with more tier content later, but until then,
Bye.